and welcome back to Bread and Butter, where we're serving up the basics for Hearthstone Improvement. This is episode 159, and as always, I'm joined by Pylet, who's finding something very amusing right now. I'm not sure what. Pylet, what's going on?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. And taking time out of a very, very, very busy schedule during release season is our good friend Zeddy. Zeddy, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, love having you. So, how are things treating you in the game of Hearthstone currently?
Not too bad. I've been mostly playing Arena lately. I do my Legend climbs for the month. I actually started playing EU lately, and I don't know, just I'm ready for the next expansion rotation. I'm so bored with Standard, so I've just been playing Arena where they have like the Arena cards, and I just want new stuff, man. I just want new stuff now.
Have you been playing? I've noticed. I noticed when I look on the HS Guru streamer decks, you've been playing a lot of Wild lately. So, is that just what you do when it's this time of year, or?
No, it just shows Wild for Arena decks. It just shows that it's not actual Wild decks. It's Arena decks, and it for whatever reason shows it as Wild. I'm only like Gold or Platinum in Wild this season. Wild's been awful. We need some changes stats. So I have not been touching Wild. I've only ever not hit Legend and Wild one season ever, which was not very long ago, like a couple months ago, and kind of feeling that's going to happen again this season.
I've only hit Wild, Legend and Wild, I think 2 or 3 times, and it was too much work to keep up with that and Standard and try to whatever. So yeah, no, I'm good with that. Thank you. I did the Legend on like all 3 servers and Wild once or twice, and I was like, I am exhausted. Why would I do this to myself? Now, Pylet, you are, I would say, maybe not as bored with the meta, but I think you're ready for it to go away as well, right? What have you been doing inside of Hearthstone?
Oh, I'm also bored with the meta, which is why I'm ready for it to go. I've seen enough blobs of tar in the past week that I've had enough of that card. I thought it was the gift set and was going away, and I was very disappointed when I saw the watermark was not the nice little present. I'm like, oh no, it's still here. So yeah, I was stuck at Diamond 5 for a while, just trying to desperately get my last 3 wins to hit 1K for Paladin, which I talked about last time we recorded. I was 3 away, and Friday I finally got there after going like 2 and 10 throughout the rest of the week. It was brutal. It was not fun. So finally got there and stopped playing the Libram Paladin and grabbed the Arcwing Mage, which is a deck I had played, I think about sometime like 6 months ago, something like that, where it was semi-viable for a little bit. Just end of expansion, so I want to put together a list that was doing okay, and I was having fun with it, and the buff definitely helps, and it beats up on Demon Hunter, which was even more of a bonus. So I've been winning with that. Very thankful that I had 11 stars from last month, so maybe I can actually hit Legend this week while I'm super busy, because I still have the 2 stars per win. But yeah, just kind of hanging in there, playing whatever when I can, and just trying to get through to the next expansion and rotation, basically.
And I came into Legend fairly early, and I've actually been maintaining a pretty decent rank for me, like between 2,000 and 3,000, and trying to push that up. It's been really good until, of course, Donkey posted a list that happened to have Frycleaver in it. So I had to take it and try it. He was 9-1. It was bait. I wasn't quite I think I was more like 1-9. So I switched back to Triple Unholy DK, a deck that I've really been having fun with and also have been doing really well with. I'm just trying to get through the rest of this month and do well and see how I can do well with my rank. And then shenanigans abound next month when we have the new... I'm not going to limit myself to decks next month when we can play whatever. Hopefully we can play all kinds of new things that aren't Discover Hunter or Dragon Warrior or Protoss. Oh, we're not going to play any more Protoss Priests. Goodbye.
Or Discover Hunter.
Yeah, or Discover Hunter, which is fine. Yep. Love it. I love rotation. In fact, I don't know if I'm more excited about cards that we're getting that are new or cards that are leaving. And but Zeddy, before we get to life outside of Hearthstone, we might as well talk about this real quick. How excited about you about some of the cards that are leaving Hearthstone in rotation?
I'm really upset they're rotating shadowstep. I really wanted that to stay around for longer so I could complain more about it. But no, just like step leaving is a big thing just because I've been just so sick of that card forever and just curious to see what they can do without that. But just also not having to worry about, I got to turn 9, I'm getting Ziliax full healed, the game restarts every game. Like that could be really frustrating. And just very sick of like a lot of the decks and stuff. And the last like 3 sets haven't hit super hard, so it's been the same stuff for so long that it's just gonna be a whole different metagame. Like there'll probably be a couple of lingering decks that are like still like Dragon Warrior maybe, and depending on like Blobatar and Ravenous Fellhunter aren't leaving, so if those aren't like addressed in a significant way, it's might not feel that different. So I'm hoping that the patch we're supposed to get with the expansion is significant. But yeah, I'm pretty damn excited for the cards leaving, and even just like stuff like Brawl and Corpse Explosion, where like boards might have a better chance of sticking around. Like playing big things might actually kind of work. Maybe we'll see, but that's just something we don't see that often with Colossals, like these giant things, and there's not very many board clears. They could actually maybe stick around. No Ziliax too, right? Like to just clear everything. So I'm excited for that for sure.
Yeah, Ziliax has been the most frustrating. I love Ziliax as a design. We've talked about this. I think it was. I'm glad they made it. I thought it was, something different and whatever. But I'm so glad. I'm so ready for it to go. And like you said, if it was one class, if it was like, hey, Priest has this and they heal up the full and they do this thing on turn 9, great, or whatever. Some class that does it and it happens, fine. But it's every class. You're playing a deck and it's just like, oh, I'm going to get him next turn, and no, you're not. So I can't wait to see you. Goodbye, Ziliax. Take care. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. But what have you been doing outside of the game, Zeddy? Have you been pretty busy?
I've been still obsessed with, you can see behind me, like the Lego stuff, and I found a new brick building company, Chinese company called Lumi Bricks, which do a lot of like modular style, like buildings and stuff. And it's a lot cheaper, but the quality's like basically the same. And they have prints and lighting kits with every single set. So not only do you get sets that look great, they're fully lit. And I bought a bunch of them. I'm planning on starting a brick YouTube channel in the next month or so. And I want to really highlight not only Lego, but these other companies that are, it's nice to see some competition because Lego is so unbelievably expensive that there's actually alternatives out there that are really good that are like half the price. So I'm hoping maybe can enlighten some people on that a little bit, because I've been loving them. And I have the expensive stuff. I have the Lumi Brick stuff. And honestly, a lot of the Lumi Brick stuff is just better a lot of the time. So it's been really cool.
I'd love to see you as kind of like the mascot for them, like kind of like Homer was Mr. Sparkle, or whatnot. So that'd be great. But Pylet, what have you been doing outside of the game?
Just busy with school. We're 2 weeks now away from our spring musical, so rehearsals for that is ramped up. So I've been at school for 14 or 15 hours a day, pretty much. So not too much time outside of that. Did bowl in a tournament last night. One of the local places does a 40 frame game tournament, so it's 40 consecutive frames, and each one has a special rule set to where some of them you get extra bonus pins if you get a strike. Some of them you just straight up get extra money. They have payday frames. They have some where if you don't strike you lose pins based on how many you leave. So did okay. Kind of took me a little bit to find a groove, got into a groove, and then when the big ones came up, I lost my line and couldn't quite get there. So I don't know where I'll place, but I had enough paydays to kind of get some of my money back and feel okay about it. But yeah, just kind of get through the this busy time of year. So every 2 months it's just like super busy with school, and then have a couple weeks where I can breathe, and then back to it.
And how'd you bowl tonight? I have to ask because
all over the place. I could not find anything the first game. Finally found something, so I went like 159, 258, or 248, whatever. 149, 248, and then kind of got a little bit lost the last game where things started overhooking, but each lane was playing very different, which is not normal for me. So I think I ended up at my average overall, but I don't quite know how. It was one of those nights. But I'm also finding I changed my fit a little bit. My fingers have gotten too big for the grips I had in there, so I had to size up. And now I'm missing spares because I either overhook them or I drop it. So that's been frustrating.
That's fair. And so I have just been doing the normal thing of working as one does. I've been playing a lot of Hades 2. I rolled credits on the game. I had God mode on, but then now that I'm starting to push Fear, Fear is the Heat version. It is the Hades 2 version of Heat. I went in, I'm like, all right, let's turn God mode off and let's just start going. And we're able to do the clears, and we're starting to work on that. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to be a better player and learn how builds are, because normally I'm just smashing buttons and I'm like, oh, this looks good, this looks good. So I'm trying to learn how to actually do good builds without them just accidentally happening, and having good builds and making sure I'm pulling the right cards and pulling the right trinkets and all that. But the story's really good. It's a lot more. I still think Hades 1 was the better game, but I think as far as a sequel to one of the best games of all time, they've done a pretty good job, and it's just been fun. But yeah, I think that's it. We have lots of snow. We have a snowstorm coming tonight again, so I get to work from home, which is nice. But it's just I would like to stop shoveling snow. I would like spring. Please get here spring. Please, no more snow. I've had enough. But Pylet, do we have any news this week?
We have a little bit of news. We had a hotfix patch. I think it was this week. Maybe it was last week. So no, it was this past week on Tuesday, where we had a couple bug fixes and whatnot. As far as constructed goes, there were some issues with Farseer, Woe, and with Husk that were resolved. It sounds like Woe was not generating spells if there were rewinds involved or different cases. And then Husk says Eternal Life from Husk will no longer trigger for both players when a hero dies to a card effect. I don't know what that was, but that sounds like something that was not supposed to happen. And then the Whizbang Rogue deck is fixed with the treasures. Some things for Battlegrounds that were updated. Some minions kind of bumped up and down, armor changes, some balance stuff there with Time Warped. And then I think that's it for that's in the hotfix patch. Not much for any new issues that they're tracking that are outside of what we've already talked about. And then we do have this week, similar to how we went over last week, we have reveals all through the week. On Monday, we have Mage and Hunter reveals on the Hearthstone channels with Baby Bear, Sidisi, McBanterface, Dreads, Theo, and Alex Smith. Tuesday,
TOHS. Yes.
Thank you.
He's very particular about that, apparently.
Okay. Thank you for that. I did not know that.
No, I'm just messing, but it's just funny. Everyone has their name, and his for some reason has HS. It's been bugging him, so I just keep bringing it
up. Tuesday, there are things on the Hearthstone Discord. Wednesday, Priest and Warlock with Dane Hearth, Gabby, Warshak, Feelink, Chris05, and Nate Kaplan. Thursday, again on the Discord, and then there is a video on the Hearthstone YouTube channel, a Hearthtoon. Friday, Warrior, Paladin, and Shaman with Zeddy, Edelweiss, WTY Bill, Snowkiss, Clark, Hellscream, and John McIntyre. And then we have one more reveal next Tuesday, March 3rd for the final reveal stream. And then we have the Wave 2 of the in-game event leading to the expansion coming up this week. Similar to the one that will be ending on Tuesday, I think it is, where we're getting 2 sets of cards, Dark Iron Harbinger, and Disciple of something that I mistyped, so I don't know what that's supposed to be. Demise, I think it is. I typoed in the show notes. I think it's Disciple of Demise. 3 Cataclysm packs, 1 Time Waste packs, 2 Tavern tickets, and then a Cho'Gall hero skin that I'm not sure what the class is off the top of my head because it doesn't say on the event.
Probably Warlock.
That's what my guess is too.
Yeah.
But I also know that one of the rogue cards had something that looked like Cho'Gall in the background, so I didn't want to guess incorrectly. I think it's Warlock though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just guess incorrectly. No one will pay attention. It's fine. Can we talk about Whizbang for a minute? Because WoW is that annoying to lose to? And did they really like? It's only a month. Fine. Who cares if it gets through the month? But is it really annoying now that there's like 3 or 4 good Whizbang decks that it's just like you queue into and like, oh great, here we go again. And even if they're not good, they're good enough to play for most part. It's frustrating.
I got to Legend with it on EU, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, it's when you queue into it and they're like Death Knight, you're like, well, I guess I lose. Like, it's pretty brutal. And it's like just Sif nuking you and there's nothing you can do about it. Or they have a giant Razzle Dazzler board and they get ramp and but I mean I'd rather face Whizbang than the mage deck that just fills a board and kills you on turn 5 and 6, and I don't know. That hasn't been super fun. But yeah, the tilt factor of losing to Whizbang after it's a meme for so long doesn't help, and you just know they got lucky rolling the right class, right?
Yeah, it's and I don't mind the Arcwing Mage as much because I feel like you do at least have some interaction there. You can do things to hopefully prevent them from doing their thing. We had a game Friday, I think Friday, that we just kind of kept their board filled with their other minions, and they couldn't get around to doing the thing. So at least there's things you can do there. When Whizbang comes out and they have a 15/15 with Lifesteal and Taunt on turn 3, it's usually not so fun and interactive, as they say. But again, it's frustrating, but it's only a couple weeks. We have other things to look forward to. Yeah. So Zeddy, go ahead.
The Arcwing Mage matchup is really funky because it is weird that it's one of those where sometimes the best thing to do is to just leave the little things that they play to get to the turn up. And the mirror is really, really weird. I actually faced a friend of the show, Jolt C, in my Coin Concede listener series match, and we had basically an exact mirror match. We had a couple card choices that were different, but it came down to a mage mirror. And he sent me a message when I started the turn. It's just like, let's see if I can top deck my way out of this. And then I won on that turn. He's like, never mind. Just if you go first, get to do the thing first, sometimes you win, and that's a lot of damage out of nowhere.
Yeah, fair. And again, it's fun. At least I'm happy that we had what I said last week. I think I hold to it. I'm happy we got some buffs. I hope that what they did was saying these are buffs we were worried about doing sometime during the year. Let's see how they did, and maybe that'll inform them for, hey, we can actually make these kind of buffs in the future earlier, because most of these buffs they could have done a long time ago. Maybe not Maestra. Maestra can die in a fire, but the rest of them were fine. So it made cards playable and it was interesting, and we get to try new things in the last month before the Franken meta, before the Tavern Brawl, the preseason Tavern Brawl or whatever. So it was a nice thing, and every time they give us a little bit of something else to do when it's that Hearthstone lull, I'm here for it. It's great.
Yeah, it's been really. I'm glad they did, because they didn't do this last year. They had done it the year before that, so it's kind of cool to see them bring them, especially with how stale the meta's been. Like anything, just give us anything.
So speaking of give us anything, I think we have some new cards to talk about, right, Pylet?
We do. We have a decent number of new cards here. We don't have everything for all the classes we're going to talk about yet. They've changed how they're doing the real reveals from how they had the past couple of years, I think, where we've gotten all the neutrals, then basically a class a day and get all the set, so you can start really figuring things out. But some of these we have most of them and can get an idea of. We'll start with Death Knight here, where we got the Death Knight Colossal, and Death Knight is one of our Herald classes with Deathwing, and the Colossal is Arisen Onyxia, a 9-mana 3/6 undead dragon, Colossal +2. And that it has an aura effect. When your hero would lose health on your turn, gain that much max health instead. And the two things that are summoned with it are Onyxia's Wings, which, when summoned, get a random 2-cost minion. It costs health this turn, Herald twice to upgrade. So that'll upgrade the cost of the minion that you're getting. This is a weird card.
this is a weird thing, but I think it's going to be really good. It's going to be blood. It's going to, and again, I'm okay with blood doing blood things, even though it's going to frustrate me at the time because it's like I'm going to try to play something aggro with all that. As long as it's not every class that has 150 armor, like Street Skaters and the stupid Starship piece and all that. Like if blood, I know a lot of people love blood archetype, and yeah, I don't think this is going to be super easy to get lots of health, but when it goes off, I think it's going to really go off. How excited are you for this, Zeddy?
Oh, I mean, definitely it's been my favorite class since they introduced it, and I love the blood, whether it's double blood, triple blood. I don't think I'm going to be wanting playing triple blood without whatchamacallit, vampiric blood is rotating. So like Mograin's there, but it's never been that great. But this is like just a huge value bomb. Plus, you're getting minions as you go along. Plus, you gain a ton of health. Plus, the big thing with it is I can't remember the spell's called, but it's like 4 mana. Resurrect your highest cost undead. You can play this and then bring it back and do it again, and then bring it back and do it again, and gain 1 million health and get a ton of random cards, and it could be pretty nasty. You just got to get to turn 9. You don't have Maladar to cheat it out anymore. So unless there's something else that they get to like enable that, but I'm really excited for it. I think it could be really good for more either mid-range or control DK, because right now it's been like mostly mid-range DK that's been popular for a while. Control's taking a bit of a back seat, so maybe Control will come back with this, but yeah, pretty crazy top end, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out, and still makes Imbue make no sense. I still don't know what the Deathline Imbue was supposed to do. I've been trying to figure that out for like the last 2 months. I don't get it, but so far nothing's really made that make sense.
But it's also important to note that when you resummon a Colossus, it resummons the appendages. And the appendage, when summoned, get a random 2-cost minion or 4-cost or 8-cost minion that costs health instead. That isn't a battle cry. That is just something that happens when these things get summoned. So when you are resurrecting these, they are going to be more impactful than a lot of times when you resurrect something that's got a battle cry. It's like, well, I guess that's good, I guess, but a 7/7 that does nothing. Now, these things are going to be impactful when they're brought back again and again and again. And aside from Blob of Tar, like we don't see a lot of things that get really have a great effect like this when they're brought back. Pylet, are you excited for the Colossal here?
Yeah, I think Blood Death Knight's not a deck that I normally enjoy playing or facing. But I think that this type might be more my taste. I think 9 mana is a good spot for this, to where it's late for just kind of a board in a box plus gain some max health, but I think that that's a fine spot to where it's not going to be too swingy at that point, but definitely is something that your opponent is going to have an answer to. And then especially if you are playing, like Zeddy mentioned, the Memoriam Manifest, which is the spell that resummons the highest cost friendly undead that died this game. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff and a lot of health. The Herald cards are definitely going to help get you there pretty comfortably, I think. All the Herald cards in the Colossal, I forgot to say, are 2 blood runes. So the Herald cards that get us there, we have a 4 mana 2/5 Obsessive Technician, Lifesteal, Battlecry, Herald Onyxia, and then a 6 mana spell, Experimental Animation. Herald Onyxia, deal 4 damage to all enemy minions. So it should be a little bit under the damage for 6 mana for what's going to clear a board super easily, but getting the soldier and stuff that you can play with it, I think you're going to be just fine to maybe clear off some smaller things and help get you there. There's going to be enough life steal and life gain in Blood Death Knight that this is going to be just fine. I do really like how for this, and I think the Demon Hunter Colossal is the only other Herald one that we got that's new. I like how they did these to be impactful with the Colossal and the soldiers when you Herald. I was curious how they're going to do that, because all the Colossals we saw with Sunken City very directly interacted with the main body, and these ones obviously can't as much because you want that flavor, but you're summoning them with the Herald. I think that they did a really nice job with not making them all death rattles. These are still interesting designs to kind of go along with them.
Yeah, so far they go like Warriors as death rattle, right?
Yes.
The Ragnaros. Yeah.
And I like the way they design this because obsessive technician 4 mana, experimental animation 6 mana. So they're not going to have Herald quite a lot. So it's not like on turn 4 you're going to get this minion they can play for 8 health and really get a ton of tempo. You get tempo. It's going to be tempo for health if you play Obsessive Technician and then you play the minion that you generate or whatever, but it's not going to be like, I think, crazy blowout turns. I think they smartly made the way that works by not making them too cheap. So
yeah, the other heralds are like, there's a 5 mana taunt, and then there's that 6 mana legendary that can also discount your Deathwing, and that's it, right? For I think there's 2 neutrals and the 2 class, and then you're basically done unless there's more to be revealed, but I think that's the case.
I believe you are correct. So yes, the taunt is 5, the Altraxian is 6.
Yeah. So it's definitely more that mid curve for all these decks. I think the cheapest one we've seen so far is for Rogue, the 2 mana spell, which could be 0 mana with prep. And that, well, we might be talking about that later, but yeah. They've been not super cheap for the most part. We saw like what Shaman and Warlock left, I think. I don't know if there's any other ones left that Herald.
Yeah, Shaman, Warlock, and then we don't have the Herald cards from Warrior yet. We just have Rag.
Oh yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah, we haven't seen any Shaman or Warlock yet. I was scrolling through and I'm like, oh, we've got nothing yet. Then we did get 3 other cards revealed for Death Knight that are not Blood Rune. We have a 2 mana weapon with 1 Unholy Rune. Command Claw is a 2/2 weapon. After your hero attacks, give a random friendly minion +2 attack. We have a 1 Unholy, 1 Frost rune. Chromatic Broodmother, a 4 mana 2/5 undead dragon. Rush, whenever this attacks, refresh mana crystals equal to this minion's attack. And then we have a 3-cost beast, Gruesome Nightmare, a 3/3 beast. Battlecry, give a minion in your hand or battlefield attack equal to this minion's attack. So that's using the new kind of targeting that they talked about with the set, but definitely going more of a attack buff, kind of what we've seen with some of the undead things before. I feel like the Chromatic Broodmother is something that will push the Frost Unholy or Rainbow or something along the way. You get one of the buffs to land on this, and that's a quote-unquote free 4/5 rush on turn 4, and then do other stuff, and that's proven in Druid to be pretty good, and I feel like it'd be just as good in Death Knight.
Yeah, so that's an interesting way. Maybe there's going to be, like I said, maybe there's a way to get this to work with that imbue hero power that nobody has gotten to work with yet. So you get more attack, and then you rush this, and now it's instead of just a 2/5, it may be a 7/5, and then you can drop something behind it and whatnot. So who knows? That could be fun and interesting. The weapon seems fine, not exciting, but fine, and we have a beast in Death Knight, which is fine. Normally we have beasts that are death rattles from other things, but give them in your hand, it's all fine. Like, I don't know if we're going to be seeing people play much of anything outside of Blood for a while, because we're not exactly getting a lot of we're losing most of our tools for some of these other decks, and right now in the first expansion we're only getting really Blood stuff. So we'll see. These might be things that, like Chromatic Broodmother, I don't think will come up a lot until maybe like the 5th expansion comes out, or the 2nd expansion of the year. So we'll see. But I think these are all good cards. Nothing particularly worries me. But then again, maybe I'm just being naive, and we're just gonna be really upset about playing against Death Knights that have like 90 health on turn 8 or something. We'll see.
I mean, I'll be happy because I'll be me. I'll be the one doing it. But I wasn't really. I mean, these cards again, they seem okay. It doesn't feel like there's enough for you to play this type of hand buff thing to win games. Like I just don't know what we're really. It's the imbue problem. I just don't know what we're hitting that's going to lead to winning games with this stuff. I think there's still more Death Knight cards to come. I think so. Maybe it'll make more sense. But yeah, the dragon's probably the best of the bunch. Getting a free rush basically, even with like Command Claw, right? Just the weapon, set that up. But I don't know. What are we doing to get to that win con? It could just be like a tokeny thing. We've got a lot of those. Like once we get to 5, we can get 3 random 4-drops or summon all the 3/2s and just flood the board. And the thing is with the Broodmother, it can't play Grave Strength, so triple Unholy's out out, which kind of sucks for that. And yeah, the Gruesome Nightmare, it says give a minion in your hand or battlefield attack. It's actually, you can actually choose. It's not even. I think we were talking about this in the creator Discord. I think they're gonna update it to be more clear about like that you get to actually choose either a minion in your hand or in the battlefield. So I like that we're getting more flexibility. I'm just curious how balance wise will work out, because discard is terrifying and wild, at least when we get those things going. My God.
And that was one of my favorite things about the reveal video, when they were like, yeah, we've tested this outside, we've tested this in the rain, we've tested this in space, we've tested this everywhere. They're like, this works, guys, this works. Which after the rewind, it took a few patches for rewind to get where it needed to be. I found that kind of interesting. And you know, they are under staff, so I'm not surprised. But yeah. All right, so any more thoughts on Death Knight before we move on to Demon Hunter?
Yeah, it's similar to what I said. Like, I'm excited for these non-blood rune cards. I think that they're strong enough. We're just losing, 60% of the decks of the cards that support those types of decks, because those were really pushed 2 years ago. We had all the rainbow stuff in Whizbang. We lose Foam Render, we lose Dreadhound Handler, we lose so many of those, single rune cards and whatnot that I don't know what the rest of the deck looks like, but these would have slotted in really nicely. We just lose too much other things to where we might be kind of waiting another expansion to kind of fill that out. So, Demon Hunter is our next class. We got the Demon Hunter Colossal, which is Ajara Ocean Lord. She's an 8-mana, 8/8 Naga, Colossal +2. Your hero has Wind Fury, and the appendages are Ajara's Tentacle. It started out as a base 1-mana, 2/1 Naga. When summoned, give your hero +1 attack this turn, herald twice to upgrade, and that will upgrade the attack that is given. So, potential for a lot of damage late game. So we have, Inquisitor at home now from your hero.
Combo.
We also have
yes.
Good God.
We also have Reno at home, because on turn 10 you can get Colossal +2 with Wind Fury, and you can then get the Felon Fusion, which is the 2-mana spell Herald Ashara. Your hero has Lifesteal this turn, so not only can you do a lot of damage, you can do a lot of healing. This is Reno and a Colossal.
Yes. And you can also get a lease copy location, if that's still a thing when the expansion comes out, and get 2 more extensions off your Ajara for like OTK ability, right? It's like 32 damage, just that alone, I think. Fully upgraded, copied, I think is 32, right? So, good Lord, I don't like this. It's going to hit me in the face. I never liked that.
But I feel like they're trying to bring Ridiculous Hat back to the game with this, because this is like get 'em.
Yeah,
this is so get 'em.
They took step away. I don't know if that's really going to help bring him back, right? So I know me and him had a lot of spirited discussions about step and prep, and what literally the second it was announced, he DM'd me, "Congratulations." I laughed.
Yeah, I mean.
So, but yeah, like this is a gradual build up to a lot of smarking. You got to get those heralds going though, but I just feel like it's gonna be pretty effective, because every time you herald, you're getting chip damage in, you're summoning stuff. It's very Demon Hunter. I don't like Demon Hunter, I never have, but it's feels very Demon Hunter, so it's doing its job. I just don't like it. That's fine. I don't need if I liked everything, there'd be a problem there. So as long as it's not Omega broken like some Demon Hunter stuff has been, I'll just learn to hate it as a rival, card or whatever.
I think they're gonna have to change Elise, because Elise 1-mana copy with Colossals is just dumb. So I think that, leave that for Wild, or Arena, when Zeddy's actually playing Arena and it says Wild. But no, we have to. There's no way that happens. Elise is getting changed. Elise is getting something. Maybe they need to Ganon Baku her and rotate her a year early. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but they either have to make her Reno, so you can't play her unless you have a full deck of singletons, or something. They're going to have to change. They're going to have to take away copy. They're going to have to do some other things. So what's going to happen is, to Pylet's dismay, is we're going to get Blob of Tar, Blob of Tar, Blob of Tar with a Shara behind Blob of Tar, and then they just kill us. So we may see a different version of Blob of Tar than we have now, but I don't think it's going away unless they modify that.
I mean, Blob of Tar, the opposite side, is also just as annoying because that's too many taunts to get through. We can't.
Got a combo with the Kane, right? Get Kane out there somehow.
Which means we have to.
No, you just got a Flash Flood.
That's too much.
The 5-mana spell. Yeah, I think you do it on the next turn, and then I don't. Oh, just use Sarah. We're fine.
Yeah. So not something I'm interested in doing on turn 18 of the game, but it is something to where it's very Demon Huntery. I think it's the right speed for a potential large damage win condition like this, and we do have a couple of ways to kind of prepare attack for future turns. We have Chronogar, which we just got this last set, that gives you +3 attack for the next 3 turns. We still have the dormant minions, the Fell Steeds or whatever they were called, that if you roll the one, that gives you attack when it wakes up in 2 turns, and that might time nicely with this. Normally that's something you want to be doing on turn 7, 7, 6, wherever this kind of falls at, but is a possibility, because sometimes you just play Grim Harvest to draw and happen to roll it, and it's just like, okay, this will work for when I have the Ajara. As I mentioned, these Herald cards are 2 of the cheaper ones we've seen. The Fell Infusion is 2 mana. We have a 3 mana 3/1 Rush Naga Armored Bloodletter that is Rush, Battlecried, Herald, Ajara. So that gives us chip damage as we kind of build up to this, to where a Demon Hunter normally has plenty of draw, to where we should have no problem having heralded plenty of times to have +4, +8 attack when we summon Ajara.
Yeah, no, and one thing we have to remember when we're talking about these classes is that we're talking about the Colossals and how impactful they will be and whatnot, but these classes are going to drop Deathwing right behind these Colossals. So, or maybe even ahead of them if they've herald enough and whatever. So, just a reminder of that this is not like Ashara hitting you for a Reno amount of damage. Healing is not the end of it. It's also Deathwing. So,
also Deathwing gives you +5 attack, which you can play for 10 mana with Ajara. So that's even more damage on your Wind Fury, right?
Yep.
And so I think I know, this looks like why they've gotten rid of things like Brawl and whatnot, because they want these things to be there impactful. I think they got rid of Corpse Explosion just because they printed that weird Hunter one that has all and because otherwise we'd be there forever. They're like, let's get rid of Corpse Explosion because we don't want to hit the cap every single time when we hit Corpse Explosion. But outside of that, we have a few other cards here. You want to talk about those, Pylet?
Yeah, we have 3 cards that go in what feel like 3 very different decks here. So we have a 1 mana Sigil. We are getting another Sigil here, Sigil of the Seas. Fell spell, at the start of your next turn, summon a 3/3 Naga with taunts. We have a 5 mana Fell spell, Flash Flood. Deal 5 damage to your opponent's left and rightmost minions. Outcast, do it again. And then we have a 9 mana beast, Dread Leviathan. It is a 9/6 taunt, Battlecry. choose an enemy to steal 3 health from 3 times. So, and
no,
there's
we have clarification. We have clarification on the Dread Leviathan. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say that?
I haven't seen the clarification, but I'm reading it like you do the choose 3 times.
You can pick 3 different minions.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what
you can pick 3 different minions. You can pick the same minion.
Yeah.
You can pick, So it's definitely flexible. It doesn't read that way because the way it reads back in previous Hearthstone, it would just hit the same minion 3 times. And if it was dead, it was dead.
Yeah.
I assumed it was you pick 3 times because it has the comma there. It's a very small thing, but it says, steal 3 health from comma 3 times, to where you're doing that choose action 3 times, similar to what the Rumble card was, the Night Elf Huntress, where you pick 3 things to hit for 3 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So
seems kind of like an unplayable card. Demon Art, like what do you play 9 mana taunts in Demon Art unless you have like some really specific interaction? Maybe it's an Elise activator. I don't know. That could be something, I guess. 9 mana. But yeah, the Fel stuff, there is like that 4 mana 4/4 that could discount Fel spells, but nothing's really come together. But again, we're gonna see more cards. Maybe there's Fel stuff, but like I don't know, 1 mana 3/3 taunt delayed seems pretty bad. We have the Sigil, I think it was 1 mana, and you get 2/2/2 taunts back in the day, and that's all like no play. And I feel like that's arguably better than this. And like the Control spell, the 5 mana one is like, I play that in a lot of classes, probably just not Demon Hunter, where Demon Hunter like wants to be proactive, not reactive, almost always. Even in blob decks, they're not like running spell removal and stuff. It's so rare. So I don't really see these cards, at least for me, seeing play.
I disagree on Sigil. I think Sigil is a card we're going to see in every Demon Hunter deck, no matter what, because it's not like normally you play a minion and then they can play a minion and interact with it, but you play this on turn 1. Turn 2, they can't do anything about it. Turn 2, it summons a 3/3 with taunt, and you develop behind it. So it's now that much more difficult for them to get to your Slither Spears or whatever the heck you got behind it. And I think it's a solid card. It's probably, I think it's just going to see a ton of play because I think it's just got that potential, and it maybe it's not as rushed as like something you play on turn 1, you hit him in turn 2. That's what we want to do. But I think it just gives you so much more protection and so much more power to do things you want to do.
I was wrong, by the way, that the 2/2 was actually 2 mana spells. So This is much better than, because playing it on 1 could be way better. So yeah, bad comparison.
No, that's fine. And Flash Flood, I think, is going to be something you never run in your deck, but I think it's going to be something that you're very happy to generate off an out-generate cast. It's like, because it can kill 2 big things on the ends, or it can kill a bunch of small things if you outcast it and all that. So I think it's pretty good.
It's not even that bad without the outcast either, right? Like Crushing Walls almost. But it just feels like it, again, for me, it's like wrong class for the most part, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm a lot higher on the 2 spells, especially because now we have more spells that are worthwhile running in a no minion Demon Hunter, because we got all the spell only ones, and then we didn't have enough good spells to make it worthwhile. We were kind of having to piece our way through that and settle for the last 8 cards. These are much better in that deck. I think Flash Flood, maybe it is a little bit expensive to hard run in the deck, but I think that the base effect is still potentially good enough, especially if we're in a meta that's not super token based. If it's a ton of token based decks, we don't play this. But if we're playing, a Dragon Warrior style meta, then we play this, because that probably takes care of 2 things on turn 5, and you're just fine with that.
Or one big thing, if there's just the one, it'll hit both times, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can blow up the elusive card that comes out.
Yeah, that's the card I was thinking of. That stupid thing.
Not only that, it kills the stupid thing that comes out of the egg if that's the only thing on board.
Yep. So yeah, I think that the outcast is the hardest thing for that, but again, it might be good enough effect to where without the outcast that you're okay with. The Dread Leviathan is just weird, because every time we've seen these big things from Demon Hunter, then it's things that you're okay cheating out, because we had big demons that we were wanting to cheat out, not play, and this is a battle cry. It's also not a demon, so we're not trying to get this off of the Eternal Hold or anything. We have seen this, steal health thing in Demon Hunter before. We had that the Void Hound or something like that stole health from everything on the board. That had a couple moments here and there in Big DH, but it's good if it's worth it. I mean, if you're stealing 3 health from 3 things, and that's a 9-15 taunt. So it's big, especially if we have a way to cheat it out. I just don't know if we do. It seems like a thing that's more for the Beast Discover pool than anything else.
But it dies to BGH, it dies to Black Knight, it dies to Hemet, it just dies, Like, all these cards were totally running.
Big Game Hunter. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
It used to be the thing, though, was like anything over 6 attack, well, no point, just dies to BGH. That's why Dr. Boom was going to be worse than, what was like the freaking, not Hogger, but Trogzor or whatever. Way back in the day.
So, yeah. Interesting Demon Hunter set. At least a very Demon Hunter feeling set after some ones that we didn't quite have that for quite a while.
I feel like class identity is really starting to be the focus again, which is nice. Like, yes. I know like we're going to get those class sets and less neutrals. There's a lot more focus on that, and it's nice because I feel like that's gotten away from them the last couple of years for sure. Every class getting 1 million armor and healing and Hunter discovering infinitely. It's just been a weird time. It's been a weird time.
Yeah, I want to see more class lethality, and like when I play against Mage, I want to lose to Arcwings. When I play against Death Knight, I want to lose to whatever. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be Sire Denathrius every game, and I'm worried about half our games or more. We're just going to get Death Knight. So I'm a little worried about that because it may not be neutral, but it's in 6 classes. So that's going to feel very samey if that ends up being really good. But outside of that, I like that each class is not going to have like these, like right now, Ziliax and Elise and the big thing, the 125 ceaseless expanse and Dragon Slop and all that stuff. So the stuff we saw in every
Madness too is another one that's like every game. Creature on 2, then another 3, and especially if you go first, I'm behind and into Elise. It's like all the same cards and all the same decks. It can be a bit much.
I'm a little more bullish on cards like Creature of Madness. Like those don't bother me as much.
But it's part of that, like that package that we've been seeing a lot of.
Yeah, and like if we see a lot of, like when we used to see what was the snake seller, the snake oil seller.
Yeah, snake oil salesman. That was like in every deck. Cause why 1 mana 2/2 and get a draw out of it for like 1 mana or 0 mana burn. That was pretty insane for a while there.
Yeah,
and ironically, like never see it in Wild, even though it's been like reverted and everything. But Wild is just a whole different thing.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting also to see if we get anything with foul spells in particular in Demon Hunter, because we are kind of getting a little bit of a reinfusion of those. We have the Herald spell, we have Fumigate, which does 3 damage to a minion and all others of the same type. So if we're seeing a bunch of tribal stuff, which we might, the Sigil of Cinder, we have Aeon Rend, we have Flash Flood. I don't remember what's sticking around in core. I don't think Immolation Aura is, but I think IB might be.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a bit more fell stuff coming up.
So,
yeah, just remember we've only seen about half of each class so far. So
yes,
I like it better. When we've talked about this, but I liked it better when we got the whole class. And you could just kind of like, okay, I have a picture of, because it's always like right now it's like, well, this might be good if we get some more support or whatever. Now we can be wishy-washy instead of being like, yeah, no, I think this is good or bad, and be wrong about it because we're basing our opinions on everything, and then we can say we're actually wrong about it.
But from the marketing perspective, it makes you, well, I want to see what the next batch of cards are, and
yes,
they've been the reveals have not been doing as well, so they try to redo it this time around. There was a lot of discussion behind the scenes, and I've been really enjoying this process. I would be kind of cool to get like, you know, more classes revealed at once maybe, but I've been really enjoying the creator reveals, and I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I'm a part of it, but I've been enjoying it. I've seen a lot of positive feedback, and we'll see how the one goes tomorrow, right? Yeah, I'm a paid shield, like so.
I was gonna say, I was just about to say, I really think it's a good idea, says the guy that's been invited to be a part of it.
Yeah,
But I do like the way they have done it is that they have included some new people that have been recently invited to the Hearthstone Creator Program, like DC, I think is Bridget in one?
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, Curly Wordy. So they're really getting some of the newer people involved, and they're bringing in arena people at the same time, and getting kind of like a nice little mix. And they still have the big heavy hitters. You still get your, banner faces and your whatnot. So good. And also, I like to thank. So we've been using these. I don't know why I haven't been showing these. So that's kind of my bad. Should have been Ryan Pylet. Your fault. But thank you, Ben Hearthstone, for making the images that we tend to use on the podcast. So let me see. Screen.
Yes, I was grabbing screen grabs from somewhere else, and then the neutral wasn't clean. And I'm like, oh yeah, they always have a really nice, clean image to show. So,
all right. So yeah, I think kind of move on, right?
Yeah, kind of mention tagging off what was said of we haven't seen all the cards. There are 3 Death Knight cards we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen the 3 rares, and then for Demon Hunter we have 1 legendary still and 3 other cards, epic 2 rares. So a lot to be seen. Next couple classes are ones that we got a little bit less from, and they're combined in one image. We have Druid and Rogue were revealed together as well. Rogue we got 5 cards from, including the Colossal, which I kind of forgot about when I was talking earlier, where we have Sinestra, a 6-mana 5/5 dragon, Colossal +2, and says your spells from other classes cast twice. And then we have the appendage, which is Sinestra's Wing. When summoned, get a random spell from another class. It costs 1 less, and that discount is what will upgrade with Herald. So Herald twice to upgrade the discount. The Herald cards that we got for Rogue, we have a 2-mana shadow spell, Right to Twilight, Herald Sinestra combo, deal 3 damage. And then a 3-mana 3/1 Maniacal Follower, Stealth, Death Rattle, Herald Sinestra. So more random stuff for Rogue.
Plus mana, my favorite.
I can feel Wicked Good just clenching up right now reading these cards.
We don't even need that. We have Zeddy here. Zeddy can
that's fair.
do that live.
I actually like the Colossal package for Rogue, but I don't think it's super competitive, but it's something that every time like Burgle Rogue stuff comes up, I just see people love that stuff, even if it's good or bad. They enjoy it, and the only thing I look at is the 3-mana Herald card is like, did they make that before they decided to rotate Step? Because it's just like really expensive and no battle cry. It's kind of like, compared to the other Herald cards, I would expect that to be like 2 mana for a 3/1 stealth. Like you're paying an extra mana to get what's typically a 1-mana minion and then the Herald. So if this is underperforming quickly, that's like the first card I imagine gets changed to either battle cry or be cheaper. But yeah, you're constantly getting random. You never know, and you could couple it up with Imbue and go for the ultimate random fiesta. It just seems fun. You're also losing tests though, so that would have been kind of a cool thing to throw in there. And the 3-mana card is like really hard to evaluate because we barely know any shatter cards, and you don't get to discover. And it's okay with prep, but pretty slow otherwise. So not like super sold on that. And there's also another Rogue card. I don't know if you have the. You have it.
I was just gonna bring that up. Hold on, let me
the eating
switch
card.
What we're looking at. Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't on here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it came a bit later in the day, so it wasn't part of his graphic. But I don't know. I think from a fun perspective, it looks like people really enjoy it. I don't think the Rogue players that really like to do the just murder people thing, whether it's like through a combo deck or whatever, are going to love that aspect. But yeah, this is definitely more tailored towards the more casual Burgle Rogue player. And the mana cheat part of it, I feel like the actual Colossal itself might be one of the weaker parts, where you like doubling a spell has typically not been amazing. Even look at like the Druid Fabled card, you just destroy that location of doubling spells most times. You might be just happy with the value you're getting with the mana cheat as you go along and get Deathwing and all that to help stay alive.
So let's talk about and actually I used to use the doubling hero power with the spells, because normally you're playing it in a copy druid, so it doesn't really work, but a lot of times that can bail you out of some things. So I liked having the option there. But
I do want to point out before we move on to another card, because I think Sinestra, I feel like there's not much else to be said outside of this, because outside of what's in core, which I don't have in front of me, we're not keeping anything else in Rogue that generates spells consistently from other classes. So
just Jackpot, right? They added Jackpot.
Did they add Jackpot?
Which is not a great, which is not a great card, but they did add it, yeah.
All right, which is still quite expensive to try to double what you're doing from that, because they're always 5 mana or more.
Exactly.
So we're losing, Petty Theft. We're losing the Thistle T-set, which could get you cheaper cards from other classes. So outside of Sinestra, we're not really. I don't see a way that we're using the double spells super often, even if it's something that we are wanting to do. So
I guess Shadow Demise can copy up one of them, replay it. They also have Shaku still, which Shaku's still there, and I think the 2-mana 2/3 Death Rattle guy, but those are all not cards you really want to play. But
yes,
I'm just saying they are there,
and those aren't targeted at specifically spells either, so you could get minions from those. Yeah.
But with the imbue, you're getting all kinds of random minions, so you got the whole random spectrum right there between the two of them. And
we just need to find a way to get random weapons and random locations and then random hero cards. And just
do have a way to get weapons, because I generated that today. There's
a 4-drop.
There's a 4-drop that gets a random weapon from another class. I got it from the Mage Rewind today.
Combo +2 attack on the weapon, I believe. Yeah,
it won me the game.
And you can just generate the warrior card that gives each of you a weapon. I'm sure you can do that as well.
Easy. So we got it all. We got all the random covered.
Yeah, that's still not Sinestra things that we're doing. So
no,
it'll be. We'll see. I mean, it feels like it couples with the imbue deck possibly, but who knows? I'll just play a bunch of random stuff and see what happens.
Well, we have one more legendary. Zeddy, you want to bring us into this legendary here?
Is that the big eater guy? What's his name again?
Isarath.
I just can't. So yeah, it's the was it a 5-mana 5/3 battle cry? Devour 2 cards from your opponent's hand. You then immediately go dormant for 2 turns and then have Death Rattle. You return them. So the idea with this card, I guess, is you're just stealing a couple cards. It comes back to life, and then you can either they get the cards back, or you could bounce this, and then those cards are gone forever. But no Shadow Step to do that. But you still have, I think they only have 2 bounces as of now, Waggle Pick and Web of Deception. So you could still theoretically bounce it, but it's really slow. It's a 5-mana do nothing. It's not good against aggressive decks. It's very expensive, probably not realistic, and if it's ever good, it gets nerfed because people will hate it. I don't like these type of design of cards. I don't love cards that if they're good, they have to get nerfed. And this is kind of one of those that kind of feels like that. I just don't think it's great, but in Wild, it's scary where you have step, break dance, all this stuff, but I don't know. It's a weird one.
But it's also one of those cards where it could be in a deck that wins 43% of the time, and it's still going to tilt you off the face of the planet when it eats your win conditions, even though it's not going to matter, and you're going to win.
Like Ticketus, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Ticketus. Thankfully, it's probably going to be much worse than Theatar.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, Pylet, you ready to devour some random cards from your opponent's hand?
Yeah, it's things like this are where we have this card and then half of the set from Emerald Dream, we had disruption cards from Rogue also that haven't seen any play yet. Because we had the bounce package there, and then part of that was the disruption cards, like the legendary that locked down more cards the more times that you played it throughout the game. And I get why with this and those they took away step, but it's also weird to me that then why are these cards here other than to sometimes make people angry. Most of the time make people angry because you're either mad they exist or you're mad that they got played against you. They're just
thankfully Rogue can't use their imbue hero power to get this. That's a positive, I guess.
Well, there's like two types of rogue players, right? There's the ones that are get 'em rogues, and then there's the ones that like to play as much random stuff as they can and just really aggravate their opponent by playing like the worst rogue was for me was when they played Maestra, and every game was like, I have no idea how to mulligan because this could be a druid or it could be a rogue. Who knows? No idea. And I'm glad. I mean, that was an interesting card. It was sad when it was meta. It was fun when it wasn't meta. And
at first, zero mana Knolls. That was just ridiculous. I was going to say
the Knolls were the issue.
Yeah, the Knolls. My turn 2, the 2 4/5s with rush on the board. Like, what are you gonna do? But I get the point. Like the strategy of the mulliganing. It was funny. I think at one point though, it was like if you were facing a priest, then you knew it was a rogue. It was something like that.
Yeah, there's a couple classes like that.
It was constantly no one was playing. Like, oh, I guess that's a rogue.
Yep.
All right. Well, we still have a couple of druid cards as well, right?
Yeah. So we get to all the rogue cards actually now. Oh yeah, because Stolen Power we can't really. We don't have enough Shatter cards. I do think that that's going to be a good card since it's already combined. That's a very important part of that. Where, the one that we've seen, 2 that we've seen are 4 mana already. To where there's a good chance that this curves into something very powerful.
And they're well above like their mana cost when they're combined. Like
yes,
like you're getting a ton of value.
And it says draw. That it shatters on draw, but we're gonna get to like theory crafting and we're gonna generate one, and it's just gonna split to both sides, and we're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, so I think it always splits unless it's from that thing, or it specifically says it's combined, right? I think.
Well, it says on draw. It says on draw, but
the keyword tooltip says when drawn, it breaks for the keyword shatter.
So it'll be interesting when we discover, I guess, what happens. But I have a feeling it's gonna. I have a feeling it's not gonna work that way.
That's a future problem.
Yeah.
For Druid, we just got 3 cards revealed with this. We have their dragon, Marithra of the Dream, an 8 mana 4/12 dragon. Battle Cry: fill your hand with random dragons. If you spent 25 mana while holding this, they cost 1. And then it has a nice little counter on there for how much more you have to spend. And then our other 2 cards that we got also deal with spending mana while you're holding it. So we have a Treant, a Fellwood Treant, 2 mana 2/2 Battle Cry, gain a temporary mana crystal. If you spent 4 mana while holding this, it's permanent. And then a 4 mana Broodwatcher, 4 mana, 4/5 dragon, Battle Cry, get 2 3/3 whelps with taunt. If you spent 8 mana while holding this, summon them. So getting cards that care about them being in your hand before you play them. Typically, these cards are not very good. I don't think the 2 non-legendaries are good enough to have to hold for longer than the turn that you can curve into them. Marithra, you still have to spend more mana than what you can curve into on 8. I think I don't feel like doing the counting and math right now, but it's close. Marithra might stand more of a chance just because you're getting a huge discount on the dragons that you're getting if you have an empty enough hand. But normally these cards are very flashy looking, and then they're very underwhelming.
I think Fellwood Treant's really solid, actually. I agree on the other 2 that probably not. Like, Marithra kind of needs to be in your opener, and then you've spent full mana almost every turn till turn 9 until you can get it out. And then you also need to have a relatively empty hand. You need the dragons to be game winning. It's not super likely, and Broodwatcher is another one you can't even really curve out on it. And again, then you have to have it in your opener for that to happen. But Felwood Treant, standalone card, is just a 1-mana 1/1 because you're gaining the mana crystal right away. And if you spend 4 mana, which is not a ton, you can do that by turn 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Then you just get a 1-mana 2/2 plus you ramp, like, because you're always getting that full crystal at least for that turn. So, and Treant decks would like this because Treant's cheap. So I see that Treant as being a staple in a lot of Druid decks potentially, because they have no other ramp, at least for now. This is their only ramp card. So
yeah,
I think they got an aura.
Oh, I guess it's temporary mana gain. But yeah, it's a ramping style card. Yeah, they do have acceleration aura.
So that does help these all these cards quite a bit too.
Especially,
and I like. Good.
I was just gonna say you could coin acceleration aura on 2 or on 1, and then play a 2-drop at Felwood Treant on 2, and you're ramped as well, right? So you can actually fully ramp this on turn 2 if you have coin or innervate acceleration. Because
you need 2. You need coin and innervate. Because you'd have 3 mana on turn 2, and you'd have to spend 2 more mana still to activate this.
Yeah, so you need 2 2s basically, and a coin or innervate. So I mean, just saying that as a high roll, but like I just think it's solid, and even if you don't get the full ramp out of it later on, I don't think it's that big a deal. But of the 3 cards, Marithra's really cool. I love the ridiculousness of it. I just I feel like it's probably not a reality.
No, it's for the clips. I think Felwood Treant is very well designed. It makes it so that way people are going to play this wrong because they're going to hold it to get the permanent crystal when they should just be using it in an aggressive deck to kind of get that extra mana and go. And I like it how if the game if it's later, then you can probably get your free mana crystal. So I think it's got dual purposes there, but I think it's a trap card that people are going to hold on to one turn too long when they should just be using it to be aggressive.
Yeah, tempo can be pretty good, right? That's definitely a way to look at it.
Yeah, I guess, I'm glad you brought that up because I definitely wasn't evaluated that correctly because, I mean, if this is in your opener and you've got 1-cost things, this is always active on 3. Like 1 drop on 1, other 2 drop on 2, play another 1 drop, and then follow it up with this on 3 as Wild Growth on a stick, and that's plenty good enough.
And a little bit better than Wild Growth because you get that crystal right away too, which is nice. Yeah.
And we haven't seen all the Druid cards yet. There could be more ramp coming. I'm okay with reasonable ramp. We don't need Lightning Bloom.
No, God. It's funny that we bring up Lightning Bloom and we have the original Innervate, which technically was just better than that on day 1, right? Gain 2 mana crystals for that turn. It's crazy to think that was there in the OG days.
Just free
minus 3 growth on prep.
I did want to mention one thing about Shatter. This is going to cause a lot of people to overdraw and stuff because they're going to forget the fact that they're like, oh, we're good. Oh, I just drew a card. Let me draw a card. I'll get 9 and it'll be 10 cards and be like, oh crap, I forgot I had a Shatter. So I can see me doing that all the time.
It's a lot less exciting than heralding, that's for sure.
Yes. Any other thought on these Druid cards?
Not really. Just think they're cool. I like them.
We already did those.
I would just have the neutrals and the random 1 priest card.
Priest.
So
I didn't agree to that. That was not part of the contract that I totally signed.
I don't know why there was 1 priest card revealed with all the neutrals at all. But it's there.
It's because it was in a video. I think.
It wanted to do a lore thing on the location.
Oh, it is in the lore video. That's why. That makes more sense. I forgot which day it was revealed. I haven't been home for when any of the reveal stuff has gone live this week, so I'm getting it afterwards. So we got the 1 priest card, location Ruby Sanctum, with gorgeous artwork. Is a 1-cost 3 durability location. Your next healing effect this turn deals damage instead. So we've seen this effect before in Priest. Getting on a location seems nice to kind of really time things out a little bit easier to prepare for this ahead of time, and we'll see what happens with that.
It's a bit different than the a lot of the older ones. They were like all the healing effects
Yes.
for that turn, whether it's just the first one. But yeah, just think of that overheal 2-drop, where this could like legit be a win con or just a ton of burst with like the hand buff package, where it's like a 1/4, and every time it can heal for the amount of health it has. So you get that to a high 10, 12, which is very possible. And combo a couple of these locations, you could be doing like 30 damage potentially. So there's some potential with it. It could be an archetype defining type of card, just this little location.
Yeah.
Do we still have bandages?
No, they're rotating.
One of my favorite decks of all time was Shadow Priest. So I am hopeful that we have some kind of archetype that isn't just based around this one card, and there's more opportunity there for the kind of red demon hunter kind of style. So I'm hoping that was so much fun. I like this card. It kind of gives you that opportunity to just, hey, I need to use my healing. You can keep healing spells, which normally you don't really want to have healing spells because, but now this says, okay, I can use them for offense when I need them. I like it.
Just don't play this with like Reno and Wild. It's not a good idea. And also pretty bad synergy with the new Colossal that wants to heal itself and stuff. Just don't do these things. It's not going to work out very well.
That's going to be awesome. Because people are going to forget that it's not just the first. They're going to be like, oh, hold on, let me use this to clear out a minion. All right, now let's go. And then, whoops. Now, I believe the next card is one of your favorite cards of the set, Pylet.
I just love the name of this card. The Warlock Murloc is fantastic.
So good.
So it's 2 mana 1/1 Murloc. Battlecry, your next Murloc that costs 3 or less costs health instead. So perfect.
It's a really good card where I don't think it has a home.
Correct.
It's a really good card. Like the only thing I can think of it is like Paladin with like you play this in a Hot Spring Glider. It's not bad. But I just think of like WoW where you like imagine you had this Clownfish in Standard where coin Warlock into Clownfish and cheat out two drops with it. That could be pretty sick. But yeah, there's just not really that much Murloc stuff going on right outside of the Paladin deck. That's just not that great.
Yeah.
So you don't think you're going to have a Paladin Death Knight deck that uses this with the Colossal?
I don't think so, no.
That was the first thing Tito brought up to me. It's just like, oh, this goes in the Colossal deck. I'm like, Tito.
I didn't really look at it. I just saw that expand health.
Just imagine you could cheat out anything. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Outside of that, we got, the normal bunch of, neutrals. We have a couple overstated, with downside things, like we have a 2 mana 2/6 taunt Selfless Protector that takes 1 extra damage from all sources. We have a 2 mana Frostbitten Imp, 2 mana 5/3 Battlecry Freeze this. So they're bad, but they're we normally get some of those.
That's everything. It's crazy. Like what? At least make it a 5/5. Like you could make that a 5/5 and it would still probably be bad. But oh man, 5/3 is so brutal.
Now, Selfless Protector, it says take 1 extra damage from all sources. Does that mean if it gets hit by something that has 2 attack, it takes 3? Or does it, if something else on the board? Because the way, if you look at Selfless Protector, it is like the sound of it. I would expect that if a minion was going to take 2 damage, this would take 1 of it.
No. It works like the Priest card. The Priest 1-drop. When heroes took damage, you took 1 extra.
I love the art though of the shielding is protecting the guy there. It's so cute.
Okay. We got a couple of the target hand cards in this. Sheltered Survivor, Battlecry, choose a card in your hand to shuffle into your deck, draw a card. So very similar to Safety Inspector that we used to have, but just 2 mana and targeted instead of 1 mana and your lowest cost. 3 mana Gemstone Hoarder, 3 mana 3/4 Battlecry, choose a card in your hand to discard. Death Rattle, get it back, it costs 1 less. As Wild Cries.
Soul Barrage, even more of them, like they needed more. Oh my goodness.
Faceless Replicator, which I hope stays bad, so we're not seeing even more blobs of tar, which is a 3-mana 3/3 elusive. Death Rattle, transform the minion that killed this into a faceless replicator. I misread that. That goes backwards. So I was thinking that was like the other one where it turns into what kills it.
Blob.
Yeah.
It's an answer to blob.
Yes. So
it's a terrible answer, but it's there.
Not only that, but it then puts this Death Rattle in their pool for the 5/3.
Only this had a rush. They would just imagine you could actually just screw every blob deck.
But it does have death. It does have elusive, so at least it's not like. At least they can't. They have to run something into it unless they use AOE.
Unfortunately, we will see this because of Creature of Madness, because it's a 3-drop.
Because you can give a charge.
Yeah. It's the only time that we ever saw the other ones where it'd be randomly generated by something, and then you're just transforming the board back and forth.
Actually, this would like they summon a 2/2 copy of it's pretty annoying too, right? Gosh. So you can get multiple of them on the board. I don't think it works with the. Would it work with? It wouldn't work with Reborn, right? Or actually, if it's a cop, it just says it doesn't say a copy of this, so it wouldn't keep the Reborn, I guess. It's gonna. We'll see, I guess, because I don't think Creature of Madness is leaving yet, right? So
no,
yeah, we'll see how that.
No, we have a full year of that card.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the next slide picture, couple decent 1-drops here. We have a Twilight Egg, 1 mana 0/2 Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 Whelp. The Whelp gains +1/+1 at the start of your turns. So this works so where when you play this, it upgrades as it's on the board. So while it's on the board, it upgrades what's coming out of Death Rattle, if I had heard correctly.
Yep.
Carrier Whelp, a 1 mana 1/2 dragon. Battlecry, get a random dragon that costs 3 or less. Really solid to fill out our curve if we're losing Gift Wrap Whelp and a couple of those other cards in the dragon decks.
Yeah, this is like auto include in any dragon deck. It's just like you play it on one, you're gonna have a play most likely either the next turn or whatever. You're keeping dragons in your hand. Just it's not exactly a 1 mana 3/2 get +1/+1, but it's still a pretty darn good card, I think.
And it's one of those things where they're going to have to decide: do I want to pop this now so I can take care of it, or do I want to let this fester?
Yeah, the egg. It's the egg. There was that one that was just a 1 mana 0/2 that spawned a 3/3 undead. And both were undeads. And that card saw play. I argue it might be better than this, but a cheap egg like this, they quite often pop up if the right deck is out there. It's pretty solid too. Yeah.
World Date will find a use for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Foul Egg was really solid in all the Death Knight undead decks.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as other good dragons, we do have the Darkscale Broodmother, 3 mana 4/3 dragon. Battlecry for holding a dragon. Refresh 2 mana crystals. More refresh crystals for more tempo. The Earthen Drake is really interesting as kind of like neutral, burn for classes that don't have burn. It's not a lot, but it is something to where sometimes you just run into it in Dragon Warrior where you're close and don't have a weapon or don't have the Kindred, and now you just have 4 damage at the end of your turn.
How about you're playing Warlock and you're able to bat mask it? It's like 28 damage.
Yes.
Or if you could somehow slot a Dios on the board too. Get 6 times 4 times 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it goes face and not just minion. So
yeah, purely smart.
Yeah, this is again like we don't have Archmage. We don't need Archmage. We have Archmage at home, kind of.
Can get a copy with Dark Rider.
Yeah.
Ground Giant is one of the more interesting cards I think in it, to where it's just like it's so hard to kind of figure out exactly if it's going to be good or not. So it goes
in Death Knight with the Colossal.
I just look at a Stitch Giant for the most part. Like it's good with most Colossals. It's good with Deathwing. It's just free Giant, but it's only free kind of in the late game. You don't really want to play a 4 into Gron for 5. Like that's never good enough. But if you're playing a lot of the more late game, Death Knight Colossal and stuff, could be a tempo swing. It's like a worse Stitch Giant, but Stitch Giant was really good in that style of deck. I think it has a chance, but it's got to be definitely one of those higher curve decks. Just don't play a big thing and then like try and coin this out. It's not going to go well. Don't do it. So I like that Coin Giant is back in the meta. I think that's beautiful.
So, for those of you who haven't seen the card, it is 9 mana, 8/8. This mania's cost is reduced by the cost of the last card you played. So, definitely kind of worded to set up as play a 4 into this on 5. The question is, is there a deck where that's good enough? Is the 5 mana 8/8, good enough in the meta that we're going to see without a brawl, without corpse explosion, however at least ends up being, wherever blob ends up? Those are kind of the questions that have to be answered for that type of deck.
I can answer it because right now in Arena, there is no brawl, there's no corpse explosion, and there's this Arena only card that costs 1 less for each turn that's gone in the game. And it's 5 mana on turn 5, and it rarely is good enough in the Arena. Fair. So on ladder, there's like no chance, I think.
One card I find interesting, and I'm not saying it's good, is the Scaled Lancer, which is a 4 mana 6/6. All enemies have taunt, because the way I see the use of this is as a tech card, where if you're playing a deck that always hides something behind Blobs of Tar and you can't get to it, that you do this, it now has taunt, so you can now get to it. So I almost think that there will be a time where this will see a little bit of play. I don't think it's good, it's expensive, but I think it does have that ability to, hey, I need to kill something that's behind taunts, and this might be a way around it.
Well, the one, I feel like it's just so niche. Like maybe it would be created by a situation. I could see that, but hard running a card just for navigating taunts, I don't know. That might be a little bit. We'll see. You never know, but
it depends on the meta.
I was surprised, yeah. The one that was kind of surprising me is the 2-drop that lets you target a card and then shuffle it back. If it wasn't for step rotating, I wonder if that would have been enough to make Quest Rogue maybe actually work.
Yeah.
Right? Like the because that would have been a cheap shuffle card that you can cycle with it a little bit, kind of, and yeah, it's zero, anything that's 0 is step, right? But we don't know that world, and would they have made the card that way if step was sticking around? Who knows? And another one is the Shadowed Informant, is really cool, where you discover a spell from your class and it shuffles through different classes. Every time we're in an early, like right after rotation, discover cards like this are like the best really they'll ever be, because the pools are always a lot smaller. So I'm curious to see how that'll go, especially if you're playing like a Herald class and that lands on like, another Herald class. Maybe you can find another Herald spell to use to further get your Herald on. So I always look at the cheap discover cards as potential sleepers in the first expansion cycle of a new rotation, because like the Scorpids and the Vulpiras, they typically only pop up that early, unless it was the stupid Baron's Priest, which was, I don't want to talk about that. The infinite Scorpids from that deck with Raise Dead, but yeah, those kind of stand out to me. And a lot of just bad, expensive dragons, but it's neutral. It's kind of what we expect.
Yeah, I will take questionable neutrals over what we've had sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to ask what the informant cycled through, because it says swap each turn, but I'm like, I don't know what's swapping. I assumed it was the class, but I didn't know if it was swapping who you're discovering from or swapping between spells and minions.
I believe it swaps through class, so could be something for and it could be another card for with the Herald Rogue, right, where they get another spell to try and combo with that.
Tito, you're muted.
I think that's pretty much all the cards for this week, right?
I
think so, yeah.
Fantastic. So
a bunch tomorrow. I was just gonna say there's a bunch tomorrow. I recorded my review a bit early, and if you're looking forward to Hunter, you're going to see a lot of Hunter tomorrow.
Looking forward to seeing Sidisi talk about Hunter tomorrow. That'd be exciting. I normally can't keep an eye on these things because I work in a lab and I don't have access to the internet in the lab and whatnot. And it would be kind of bad to be watching Hearthstone stuff anyway, but teleworking tomorrow so I can have that on in the background while I'm doing things. So very excited to see that. Although I might be driving at that time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Big blizzard coming in tomorrow. Not the company, but the snow. So if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by joining our Patreon over at patreon.com/breadandbutterhs. We have raw audio for you early or sometimes in parallel, but you get all the, pre-show and the post-show there. You get access to a members channel on Discord. You can ask questions of our guests, like if you wanted to really ask Zeddy, like what was his favorite Lego set, he might have been able to answer that tonight. Or you could have asked his opinion on some of the cards rotating, like Shadowstep, and he might have answered those tonight as well. If you'd like to help us out in a non-financial way, you can let people know about the show and let us know how we're doing. Leave us a review. It helps people find us. And you can find us at BreadAndButterHS on YouTube, and we post the VODs for the videos, and also we put some shorts out there to let you know kind of like some of the fun moments of the show. And I guess Zeddy, I don't really have a good question for you, question of the week, so I'll ask, you were talking about a new Lego brand. What is your favorite set from that new Lego brand?
The Lumi bricks. So yeah, they're again like a Chinese competitor. I just finished building. There's like a steampunk. There's a steampunk theme, and it's like a tower that has like really cool like lighting throughout, and then the top, like it's very tall. I think it's like 3 feet tall, and has like a watchtower which it fully rotates 360 degrees with like a I don't know, like a telescope or whatever that's all lit up, and it's just really cool. And I love the steampunk style, which Lego hasn't, I don't think, ever done. So I like that they differentiate themselves. They're not just trying to copy. A lot of it's very unique. Like they have the other one that I would say is their neon. They have like a neon, it's a neo city punk type thing. Like it's all like fluorescent lighting and futuristic, like very Blade Runner-esque stuff. So one of the ones they like is a ghost train, which can go into like, they have you put a mirror up so it looks like it's going through a portal, and just really cool and unique stuff. And the lighting is really cool. And yeah, I've been enjoying that. And I think we mentioned the favorite Lego set last time was like Titanic or something like that, which is still goated, or Rivendell, which is still amazing. So I'm enjoying both brands.
I want Soundscream. I really, not Soundscream, Soundwave. I really do. That's one that I'm asking, but I haven't been able to get there. But Zeddy, where can people find you if they want to find you on the social medias?
So on Twitter, it's ZeddyHS, I believe. On YouTube, it's Zeddy Hearthstone, where we're uploading daily reviews during the reveal season. We'll have one shortly after the Hunter and Mage reveals tomorrow. And I stream Monday through Friday on twitch.tv/Zeddy.
And go USA Hockey.
How dare
Pylet,
you?
where can people find you? Where can people find you on the social medias?
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky, Pylet712, Pylet.
And you can find me on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and Blue Sky and all the places at titosantanahs. In fact, I just made a video that just went live during the show where I talk about whether or not you should come back to Hearthstone. So I'd appreciate if you go take a look at that. Zeddy, do you have anything you'd like to promote or shout out this week?
Well, I will be appearing live on Friday on the final Creator and Friends reveal stream, where myself, Clark, Snowkiss, Bill, and Edelweiss all be going over. We're the only reveal stream to have 3 classes in Shaman, Warrior, and Paladin, where there'll be a lot of Herald stuff and maybe a Colossal to talk about. So should be really fun. I think the cards are rad. I'm excited about it. And yeah, so that'll be on the Play Hearthstone channel. There's drops and all that stuff. So check that out. I highly recommend it if you can at 2 p.m. Pacific. Weird times, but it is what it is, I guess.
Pylet, do you have anything you'd like to promote or shout out this week?
Gonna second a shout out that kind of happened earlier to Ben Heathstone for putting together awesome graphics that we completely used for the show notes. And then also shout out to Jolt C. Like I mentioned earlier, friend and patron of the show, had a really, really close match this weekend, CCLS, and also they're one of our teammates on Tito and I's THL team. So always fun time playing against them. Super close match for really all 3 games.
And I'm going to shout out Jay from This Week in Hearthstone, or now he just calls himself This Week, for taking a look at some of the things I was doing with the video I was talking about before. He does a lot of that stuff, so it's good to have a second view. And also want to shout out, frequent guest and friend of the show, Warshack, who had some loss this week, and with it, we're keeping him in our thoughts. One of our favorite people, and going through some tough times. So make sure you again, I think I said this last week, but just remember, if you can be anything, be kind. You never know what people are going through, and it doesn't take much to just be nice. So I think that's it. I think we're toast. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Wait.